So, with the Basketball Hall of Fame this weekend, Chris Webber is already on record saying that the Fab Five will be reunited this weekend at the event. Because, of course, Chris Webber is going to the Hall of Fame inductee this year with
Mm-hmm.
along Chris Bosh, Tony Kukoc. I think Paul Pierce is in
Paul
this class.
Pierce. Yep.
This is a pretty good class, but I'm not even talking about the class. I want to talk about the Fab Five there, getting back together for this special occasion. Because over the years, we haven't really seen all five together. I think
Yeah.
they were supposed to get together the first time Michigan went back to the Final Four with Trey Burke team, I think it was.
Yeah, they did. They
And
did. They were together that one. They were all in the stands together.
right.
They all did the game.
So
So yeah.
I just want to say first and foremost, shout out to him for that, being there to celebrate that with Chris Webber, that being their brother and longtime friend. I'm glad to see that everybody's on the same page and got past, everything that's happened in the past. So shout out to him for that. And the second thing I want to say before we start, shout out to everybody that's making great basketball content right now, especially all my Twitter people. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but Chris LeBron, Prezi over at Off the Ball, he started his series
Yeah, the best
recently.
team never was series.
Then
Yep.
you got Zach and Who You Got, his series going on,
Uh-huh.
breaking the game and their top 100 players. Shout out to anybody that could make a list more longer than top 25 players because I'm not going past 25. I'm going to keep it real with you.
I'm probably not going past 15, honestly.
So shout out to them for that. But shout out to everybody that's just making great basketball content right now. I just wanted to put that out there I just want to put that out there real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
But with that being said, I'm John W.
And it's Fresh X.
And it's the Hoopers Morning Run. So I want to get into something real quick. Wu-Tang Clan back for season 2. And we see they finna get ready to start forming it up. RZA's got a plan in mind. I haven't asked you one of these questions in a minute on here. But if you could pick one player to lead a team of mixed match players that he picked, who would be the player? And what would be your first 6 players? Who would be your 6 players with that player?
All right, so current players in the league. I'm gonna try to answer it 2 ways. Let's see if I can do it.
Go ahead.
Currently, if I'm picking a guy to be the leader, and I'm just gonna pick anybody around him and say he gonna put you in position to do what you do best, even still in year 18, I would pick LeBron.
Okay.
I would pick LeBron. I mean, I guess you probably can kind of see it this year with this team because clearly RZA was the leader of Wu Tang, but everyone was supremely talented on their own. Method Man, Raekwon, Ghostface, Jizza, Inspector Deck, they all the ODB, RP, they all were dope on their own. So Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, Melo,
Malik Monk.
they all have like you got the superstarness with Melo, Anthony Davis, because obviously there's levels to everything, and everyone Wu Tang was dope.
Right.
But I think the most brought up ones are Method, Ray, Ghostface. I think those are
and ODB.
And ODB. Those are the characters you really
right.
know that goes beyond just they're dope rappers because we all know that they're dope rappers. But Method Man with his movies and stuff like that, and Raekwon and different, they all dipped into other stuff because of personalities. So that's why I chose LeBron and kind of with his Lakers for that. And I'm gonna stick with them, their team as far as picking those other players. So I'm gonna go LeBron. I'm gonna go Westbrook. I'm gonna go Anthony Davis. I'm gonna go Melo. That's 3. Yeah. So I need 2 other players. 2 other players. I'm gonna stick with a team. Malik Monk, a young wild card.
Cool. You can stick with the whole team.
Wild card player, and then the potential in Kendrick Nunn there. All time, I'm gonna go ahead and answer that real quick. If I had to get one person to orchestrate it all, put it all together, put it with some mixed match players, he gonna lead to success. Magic Johnson, he's the ultimate point guard. He gonna get everybody involved. Everybody gonna eat. So these are the people I'm putting with Magic, though. I'm gonna let him keep Kareem, and I'm gonna let him keep James Worthy because I know he really likes those guys. Okay. Also with Magic, so you got Worthy, you got Kareem. I got a center. I got a 3. I'm gonna give him a dynamic 2 guard. I'm gonna give him Earl the Pearl Monroe.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So
I was thinking. I'm
gonna give you some different characters.
You did.
We're gonna throw Pearl out there because Pearl can score. He created on his own, but he proved in that championship with the Knicks that he can conform and play with the team also. I need a 4. My 4, I'm gonna take real quick at the 4. I'm gonna put Sean Kemp with them because I want some versatility. So I want somebody that can shoot. He can dribble. He gonna play some bully ball. Magic throwing him lobs. He's throwing him lobs, even though lobs wasn't a thing back then. And
make it a thing.
Exactly, they're gonna make it a thing. And they're 6 man. Shoot. That's the toughest one. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't got a 6-man.
No, that's crazy. So Magic, Earl Monroe, James Worthy, Sean Kemp, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That is sick. Honestly, that would be a good starting five too. Like that would get you. I think that starting five can get you a championship because you have everything you need right then and there. Like you got rebound, you got scoring. I mean, shooting might be a bit lacking, but Earl Monroe is a good scorer. He can figure out how to shoot. James Worthy as well, so that's not bad.
As far as collecting players to go, I think in
Sorry about that, y'all. We had a little, internet connection.
The connection issue.
We ain't on ESPN. We on Off the Ball Network, so things happen. But back to what you were saying with that lineup, man. I think that's a real versatile lineup. You have scoring from both wing positions with Earl Monroe and James Worthy, and then Magic Johnson. Like I said, that's the ultimate point guard and ultimate leader. That's a real good team. That's a championship starting five. You actually.
Yeah, and I think the key is in the leader of someone that can bring them all together. And make sure everyone's doing what they're gonna do best. I think LeBron and Magic are the best two of that, possibly in NBA history.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I want to stick with the Lakers real quick, and not necessarily the Lakers in specifically, but DeAndre Jordan, who of course was traded from the Brooklyn Nets to the Detroit Pistons.
He officially went over there, right?
Right. Yeah, he did. So of course there's been some quotes coming out. I don't know how true these quotes are, but some of them are like they're definitely like, oh yeah, I knew that, but it was like, of course, Brooklyn didn't originally want to go after DeAndre Jordan, but they only did because Kyrie and KD, they wanted him, they pushed for him. That was their friend. That's why Brooklyn went after him.
This is what DeAndre Jordan said?
No, this is just quotes that's out there. Then there was another one. What did it say? Oh, DeAndre Jordan basically forced himself to start over Jared Allen, and they was okay with it because once again, KD and Kyrie was his friends, and they wanted to make sure KD and Kyrie was happy first. I only wanted to get into this controversy and not because, like I said, a lot of this stuff came out already. We kind of put together like, why was DeAndre Jordan ever starting over Jared Allen? Which is why you kind of trade him. But when stuff like this come out after he's dead and not dead and gone, but he's been traded already. He's on the whole new team now. Yeah. Does this even sway any opinion of his short time period there for you? Like,
no, because I look at it a few ways, because I think it's never as bad as it come out, and it's never as good or it's never as bad. Like, for instance, like I don't think it's a secret that they chased after DeAndre Jordan because of KD and Kyrie, and that can kind of lock them in. And they even gave them that bit of money.
But bit of money.
Right. They gave, but also I don't think you're just doing that blindly either. At the end of the day, this team is trying to win a championship. So that DeAndre Jordan is a little bit above the hill, but you also thinking, because you're doing your due diligence, that he can get a resurgence or just contribute to the team with them because he's playing with his friends. Right. So maybe you can get something out of it and get that second career, because sometimes that can revitalize you. So I don't think they just, we're just gonna give him $30 million. Like, they're not wasting money like that. And even with him starting over Jared Allen, it was clear that they wanted them to play together. They wanted that chemistry. Mm-hmm. So I think that made sense. And Jared Allen, who I think is a starting center in the NBA, I definitely respect the deal. He just got. It still wasn't a sure thing there. So as you're trying to compete for a championship, you're not really. Even last year when KD was out, they're trying to, or the previous year before last year, right, they were still trying to build championship habits. So and this is, I'm not going to act like there's no favoritism towards that. Like we want to make them comfortable here. So we want to see what DeAndre Jordan has. But I mean, just look at this season while KD is actually on the court. They didn't even try to play DeAndre Jordan. So if that was the case, why didn't he play this year? As far as as far as just acting like they had to do whatever because they were there. So I think it plays a part, but it's not as much as people are gonna make it, honestly. And DeAndre Jordan wasn't contributing, and once it was really seen that he's not gonna help this team, they benched him. They needed a big, and he still didn't play. And I don't take that for nothing.
No, yeah, I don't take that for nothing. And he didn't have the worst season. I think he was 7.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, got like 73% from the field. But
he was solid. But he was
never, yeah, he was. I would say he didn't necessarily contribute a lot to them. So
especially during the playoffs, I don't remember him getting on the bench.
Nah. But maybe he helps the Lakers, who could use some more athleticism in that front court, and him and Dwight definitely bring that, which should be a fun time together.
And he's gonna share more minutes with someone with the Lakers, I think. So, maybe this situation can help too. I am on record of saying though he couldn't even really give minutes to a team that needed a big, so I don't see how he's going to help another team. But sometimes you this is your last push though, because if this doesn't work out, no disrespect, he's going to be out the league. So if you want to extend, I mean, and maybe he's ready to retire. Maybe he's ready to retire. But if he wants to extend that career, he's going to contribute for the Lakers.
No, that's definitely.
You start getting bought out and getting waves at the end. Start thinking, is it over? Do you want it to be over?
How many venture minimums do you accept before you say I'm done?
Exactly. But if anybody can bring the best out of them, I think LeBron and Westbrook are two good candidates. Anthony Davis is a willing passer also, as far as getting him some lobs and just having good skill overall. So I think he definitely could come. Maybe that sunshine.
Maybe right. Maybe right. Maybe go back to LA, revive his career in a way.
Yeah, right. Definitely. And then I didn't even think about playing for the Clippers, so you are going back to LA. I didn't think about that.
No, yeah, definitely. So shout out to DeAndre Jordan for honestly carving out those long careers he did, because there's a lot of people that didn't think he would even make it this long career. Like,
yeah,
I remember his main. Pick. Yeah, I remember his main comparison was either he beat Dwight or Michael Oladipo.
Yep, coming out of Texas A&M. People thought he was gonna go number one. He's gonna go second round. He didn't really show the motor. I remember early in his career, he wasn't rebounding big, and then Doc came in there, changed some things, told him if he didn't lead the league in rebounding, he wasn't going to play him. And he started leading the league in rebounding because everybody knew like his athleticism was on another level. Right. So it was like, you're not getting 10 rebounds because you're not trying. So he told him, you didn't average 10 rebounds, lead the league in rebounding, I'm not going to play you. And he started leading the league in rebounding. So shout out to DeAndre Jordan. I think he can have a chance to contribute to the Lakers, and if he contributes, he could help them win the championship.
No, he definitely can, for sure. I want to get into Dame a little bit because I see something on ESPN. I don't remember what morning it was. It was this past week though, and they was asking, what could Portland do to keep Dame happy? What can Portland do to keep Dame happy? And all I'm thinking is he hasn't asked for a trade yet. He hasn't asked for any significant changes on the team or front office. So it's always like, how do you say he's unhappy?
Yeah,
he doesn't have a list of demands. Do this, that, and the third, or I'm on a walk, or you got to trade me. So
right,
those questions are always weird to me. Like, where does that come from? That he's not. That they have to keep him happy, or he's not already happy there.
So not to play into the cliche, but this is where just the I guess the ring chasing era kind of plays a part, and even not even just for the players, but just for the headlines of what people want to talk about. I think Dame, like obviously he wants to win. He wants to be in a position to win the championship. Mm-hmm. He wants to compete. He went to the West Conference Finals 3-4 years ago. Mm-hmm. He wants to be able to get back there. But it's not just that sweet going anywhere. I mean, he could get traded to Philly. They could still get bounced in the second round. Mm-hmm. It's no guarantees anywhere you go. I'm not mad at players where Portland, since he's been there, has put him in a position to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And Dame is not like flawless as far as being the reason they haven't been eliminated. He's had some tough players, and he'll admit that. That's not even a knock on Dame. Right. So he knows a mix of we both need to be better. But, he just got married. He has 3 kids now. Like, these people have lives, right? You know what I mean? So, and you've been in Portland almost your whole career, and Portland is never bad. And I don't think people realize how much that matters to players, because just competing and making the playoffs means just as much as competing for a championship, in my personal opinion. So I think what they have to continue to do is try to keep making the team better. And sometimes you get stagnant for a second. You got to retool some stuff. They're trying to figure out what they need to do, because they don't want to give up CJ, but he's really kind of your best piece because Nurk is always hurt. So Nurk isn't really the trade piece that you would want outside of Dame. CJ is the best piece, but you don't really want to break that up. They're not necessarily getting free agents. You're not drafting high. So I definitely think it's on the players to get better, and it's on the GM to get more creative as far as trying to make trades, be aggressive with some of the trades that they make and things like that. So that's just the main thing they could do. And I mean, we saw that last year, though, because with the moves that they made last year, I know a lot of people gonna act like they didn't say it, but I saw everybody on NBA Twitter saying Portland was one of their favorites as far as the transactions they made last offseason. Bringing Katner back, Darius Jones Jr., who I forget, bringing Robert Covington in, CJ coming back, and then you get into the season, people get hurt, and that's just how it goes a lot of times. So I can't say that he's unhappy, but he does want to compete. He wants to compete for a championship. But I also think Dame is content. Not that he's content, but he's okay with not winning the championship in Portland. I mean, he chose not to transfer in high school to a bigger school to get a chance at a bigger scholarship. He wanted to play with his boys. They was going to compete, and he was going to give a scholarship to who loved his game. And I think that still fits his mold right now.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that, because if that's how you are, if that's who you are, that's who you are. Like, I just don't like the question of what can they do to make him happy. Yeah, because if he wasn't happy, we would.
It's literally players that go 5 years without making a playoffs. Team don't even care that they're not making the playoffs. Like, has Dame missed the playoffs?
He hasn't missed playoffs since his second year in the league.
So, like that matters, honestly. I mean,
because once you get there, it's like once you get there, we're all healthy. Is the competitive mindset is I got a chance. Like some luck here, a shot bounces there. Like I have a chance. And Dame is one of those players. I honestly don't know, but I feel like that's how he feels. Truly, like if we can get there, I have a chance.
Yeah.
You can't beat that as a player, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I want to go over to the Philly side because you brought up Doc Rivers real quick, and you brought up, what, if he gets traded to Philly. Of course, Ben Simmons is still in his, he don't want to talk to the team and still want to be traded, because it's come out. I've seen a couple quotes saying, Philly's trying to, basically saying, we want you here, come on, just come back, practice, play, whatever, this, that, and the third.
Yeah, people are mad because apparently Daryl Morey told him he wasn't going to trade him, and he offered him for a former MVP. Come on, y'all.
Come on. Right. But I've seen what was it? Oh yeah, basically I don't know how true it is, but Ben Simmons was quoted as saying it's not his job to make his trade value go up.
Yeah, I saw Stephen A. Smith said that.
I don't even want to get into the trade talk at this point, because whether he get traded, he doesn't. He's not gonna show up to his $1 million job. Like, come on now. But my question is,
ain't talking to them till them checks start missing. Start playing.
But my question is, when you hear a player say that, they clearly have an idea of what they want in their situation or what they feel like the situation is. When you get to that point as a GM, are you thinking like, yeah, let me trade him at this point? I know, no, I'm not forced to trade him. I don't have to trade you. But when you get to that point, because like I said, he's gonna miss checks, and I don't think he's gonna really want to miss a bunch of checks. Mm-hmm. But it's like, when does it become a distraction on the team to where you think, I want the distraction to be gone, but I want it to be gone.
Only if he's hurting the team on the court. If he don't practice hard, if he's not playing hard, if he's not committed to the team, that's the only time he hurts the team. Other than that, he don't got to talk to Daryl Morey all year. They don't have to speak. But if he's lacking on the court, he's dragging, he's faking injuries so he don't got to play or whatever, or making something like it's worse than what it is so he don't have to play, that's when he's a problem. Other than that, it don't matter if you like each other or not. Like your teammates. Go out there, y'all work together, play hard, continue to try to improve your game, because at the end of the day, I see people saying that he doesn't owe Philly anything. He's under contract. $170 million. He owes them his time on the court. Like it's as simple as that. Like I mean, I don't even get where the mix-up is in that situation. He signed a contract to play for the 76ers.
Well, contract he didn't have to sign.
Yeah,
he didn't have to
sign
sign
an
an
extension.
He didn't
He
have to
signed
sign
an
an
extension, and it's a supermax extension. So Daryl Morey offers you for James Harden. All right, Doc says that he doesn't know if you could be the point guard on a championship team. We don't know if Joel Embiid could be the center on the championship team. They haven't won a championship. I still think Doc threw him under the bus, and that wasn't the time to do it. He could have said his comments better, but he could have said worse things about him also. So I think if Ben Simmons is so set on wanting to be traded, I don't know. That's just the rumors.
Right, those are also just rumors.
If he's so set on wanting to be traded, and it's not his job to get his value up, it's their job to make a good trade for him. And it's also not their job to just trade him anywhere because he demands a trade. But if Ben Simmons is so set on he needs to be traded because Doc offered him for James Harden, Daryl offered him for James Harden, and Doc said he didn't know that he wants to be if he could be the star point guard on a championship team. I don't listen to the rumors and stuff, but that's when you got to really believe the rumors if he's been so coddled that you can't get on him. Right. And that would make his value lower for me as a coach than any other team, because that means when he don't like something, if you criticize him, he's going to want to be out. So that lowers his value more than not attempting a shot in a game, honestly, in my opinion. I wouldn't want that guy on my team. But I think Ben needs to go in there. He need to prove people wrong. Well, he don't need to prove people wrong. Excuse me, I don't want to say that. But he's under contract. He got to play for the team, and he needs to play for his teammates. And if they find a deal that works out for best for everybody, trade him. But if not, he'll be there in camp. He's not finna lose them checks. It's not going to happen at all. Just look at his Instagram. He has some very expensive cars. And he has a really nice house. Got a great infinity pool. He likes his lifestyle. He's not losing them checks.
Nah, like I said, I don't like to say. It's weird when you start hearing those things. Like you say, of course, as long as he come out there and play, do what he's supposed to do, he's not gonna be a distraction.
As long as he's giving effort, if he's not giving effort, then he's hurting the team. Then that's the only time you gotta go. But I don't want to talk to you like he's not middle school. He's grown men, and there's millions of dollars on the table. Stop playing.
Because, like, honestly, what do you really on a day-to-day basis? What you talk to the GM about?
Yeah, really, you
already on the contract. You already signed your extension. You probably not thinking about another extension right now. So it's like, what are we really talking to the GM about every day?
It's really so many people that don't talk to different people in the organization, and winning heals everything at the end of the day. As long as you're not cheating your teammates, nothing else matters, because they're the only people that matters. The people you on the court with, the people that's hustling for you, diving on the floor for balls, playing hurt, them the people that matter, honestly.
No, yeah, I agree with that. You're right. I want to get into something before we get up out of here. Tom Brady was recently, an old quote from Tom Brady, I think after he won his second or third championship, he came out and said, he's not chasing Joe Montana, he's chasing Michael Jordan. At that time, Jordan would have still, 6 rings. Tom Brady is on 7 now. But when you hear that and you hear a player from a whole nother sport saying he's chasing a player in a whole different sport that's not even necessarily equivalent to the sport he's playing, where does that put Jordan on a pedestal? Just not even on a pedestal, but just on a tier. Where does that put Jordan when you hear a quote like that? Because Tom Brady and Jordan, first and foremost, are friends. I've seen them play basketball together in the neighborhood in Florida.
Yep.
But when you hear that, where does that put you?
They need to accept that 2-on-2 invite also.
Yes, that's right. Jordan and Tom Brady, we also invite y'all to the Hoopers 2-on-2 tournament. Yeah.
But that just puts you at the top level. Like Jordan is, I think, whether you think he's the best athlete ever or whatever, he's definitely in your top 5 for competitiveness, for accomplishments, and for dominance. And I think that's what matters the most. Like not just winning the championships, but how he's winning them. Winning 3 straight, then you tire, you come back and win 3 more. You're winning Finals MVP every time. He won regular season MVP a good amount of those times. So, leading the league in scoring, being elite defensively, just checking every box. And I think that's what Brady wants, is that end in dominance. I really think, because he says he still got stuff to prove, I think what he wants to do, I don't know Tom Brady, but I just feel like the only thing left for him to do, the mark, is that undefeated season, and then they lose in the championship. And I think that's what he's the last thing that
you think
he wants to accomplish.
Come back so they can do that.
Yeah, you go undefeated that one time. I think I don't know if they're gonna go undefeated. I'm not the football guy, so don't even kill us with your trolling football tweets. I don't care. But I think what he wants to do is he wants to put himself in position to go undefeated again and win the championship. Because they had the home Super Bowl, right? Did they have a home Super Bowl?
Yeah, the last year.
So you win the home Super Bowl. First team to do that. More championships than any team. More championships than any team in the NFL history. Forget just a player. Right? He has more championships than the teams. So I think that's kind of the one blemish. I mean, because he's already lost, so you're not going undefeated. But it's that year where you go undefeated, you having a perfect season, break the touchdown record. Randy Moss breaks the receptions record,
and then the bad touchdown record.
Yeah, and then you lose in the championship. So I think that's the last thing he's chasing, because that's that next level of dominance. I mean, the Warriors have since broke the record, but I think for Jordan to win the MVP of the year that they have the most wins in NBA history, and then you win the championship, and he's Finals MVP. Was he All-Star Game MVP that year? I don't know for sure. So we ain't gotta get on to that. But that's the next level of dominance of ultimate team success and ultimate individual player success. So I think Brady would love to go out with an undefeated season, a championship, and definitely Super Bowl MVP, but possibly a regular season MVP, but definitely Super Bowl MVP.
And like I say, we're not the football guys over here. It was just a thought, because I remember saying that quote, and I think that just shows how Jordan transitioned from an NBA basketball player to just a world-renowned athlete. When you do, because even if you go to baseball, like he does have baseball athletes that sign up to Jordan Athletics, but there are baseball players who would looked up to Jordan. They wanted that level of dominance, and so not just the individual success, but the team success to go along with that.
Exactly, because even though Bill Russell has the most championships, he has 11.
We never really talk about his individual success, and he has MVPs under his resume.
And people still just go to Jordan for it when it goes to the dominance, because of just how they were winning and how it looked. So it's like Bill them won 8 straight. He won 11 championships in 13 years. So he essentially was always there. But Jordan did it while being the best player. And it was a debate. It could be debated if Bill Russell was the best player. Right. But it was known that Jordan was the best player. It was known that they was the best team, and they were winning. So I just think all time when you look at athletes, like obviously when you look at the most competitiveness, you instantly go to Jordan and like Muhammad Ali, just with how much trash he talked and how he wasn't afraid of nobody. I think those are the two guys that's going to be at the top dogs, and Jordan is number one. Honestly,
I definitely agree. And you got to think about with the way he played, a lot of people, especially media, didn't even think he could win a championship being a scorer like that. So he kind of changed the perceptive of how
the game, right?
Yep, trying to change that perceptive.
Because before Jordan, you're mainly winning through your bigs. I mean, Magic won, but he did have Kareem there for most of the time. And at the end of the day, Magic is 6'9". So.
I don't think people realize how that Celtics front court in the 80s was
like. What era then? It's somebody did it, but who won really without a great big before Jordan? Because even when Walt Frazier has a championship, Willis Reed's on that team, Jerry West has a championship, Wilt Chamberlain's on that team, Earl Monroe,
Willis Reed on
the team. So Dr. J's championship, he's with Moses Malone. So who was winning without a great big then? I mean, I'm sure it happened. But it wasn't
the norm, right? Even like you think
Oscar wins, he has Kareem.
Bob Pettit, but he is the big.
Bob Pettit's the big, one of the best big top 10 center ever, top 5 center ever.
So that's like that's like I
said, top 5 center ever. Bob Pettit, I said it. Yeah. Do your research. Ask Bill Russell about Bob Pettit. Ask Wilt Chamberlain about Bob Pettit.
But I'm glad you brought up the Bill Russell thing real quick, because today is the anniversary of him winning his championship as a player and a coach there in 1960.
Oh, that's dope. Okay, so I ended with this last question. I throw the question to you and the question to NBA Twitter, YouTube, Twitter, everybody, YouTube, NBA, everybody. Should NBA consider bringing back player coaches? Udonis Haslem.
You just want Udonis Haslem off the roster as a player.
But for real, think about Bill Russell as a player coach. And I'm not the first to ask this question. I saw this probably like 5 or 6 months ago.
You just don't want Udonis Haslem on the roster
but should they really consider back a player coach? Like Should
I mean, honestly,
like why not? I feel like why not?
As a head coach, probably not, because it'd be difficult to.
You only got to be head coach.
But if you think about Luke Walton when as how he transitioned, like I know there was a lockout year, but he still was on the bench as a player too. But he did have more coaching duties. We've seen Draymond Green did drop some plays, but he sat out that night as a player. So I think it could be a thing for the player staff member, but I don't know if they will let it be like a coach or something. Probably in the development department or training or something. But I don't see why not though. It's not a bad idea, honestly.
I think a player coach would be valuable. I don't think it would be like that. How you're a player and you're a head coach. I don't think that would happen. But I could definitely see you being a player coach, assistant coach, and then maybe on a night you fill in, or Steve Kerr gets thrown out, so now you're
see that situation. So, I can see that
something like that. But I think there's a space for player coaches. What did y'all listen?
I got a follow up question for that before we got out of here. Though, my bad. If you're a player coach, how many times you calling your old number?
Hey, every time, look, at least definitely my first possession in the game.
How many times you calling your old number?
Y'all already know what we're running, right? Definitely my first possession in the game. We running that play for me, and I don't want to hear nothing about it.
You call, you play for the last shot if you're in this situation.
See, I wouldn't go that far because I would want to win. So right. It would depend on the matchup. So I wouldn't put my own shot above winning. But my first play in the game, we definitely running my play for me in my spot. So go ahead and get it right there, and that's what we're gonna do. Just like how the Cavs, every first play was Kevin Love.
He touched the ball for another 10 possessions.
They said we just want to get him to the game. We get him to play the first play of the game, and he don't get it again. That's crazy. But consider it. Look, I don't know who need to holler at. Shout out Adam Silver. I know he's tuned in right now. He's gonna watch it later. We need a sit down. Season's coming up. It's still not too late to make some changes. Just need a conversation, Adam. Shout out Adam Silver.
All right. But other than that, I think that's we're gonna wrap it up right there. Shout out, I can't read. I'm not gonna lie, I can barely see, but who's this in the comments? You got a little better vision than I do.
I don't know your last name. The first name just says Copycat, coming from YouTube. So shout out to him. He said what's up to the Hoopers.
Shout out to you, bro. But other than that, you got anything else?
Nah, just as always appreciate viewers, everyone that tuned in. Sorry about the little connection issue we had earlier. We here every Friday on Hoopers YouTube, Off the Ball Network's Facebook, and on Twitter for the Hoopers Morning Run, 9 a.m. Every Monday and Friday. Catch us on the Nothing But Net channel through the Dash Radio app for the Hoopers Hour. So we're on tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Hoopers Hour, Nothing But Net channel through the Dash Radio app. Just go ahead and download the app. Off the Ball Network has a few dope shows on there already. For sure on Monday, I know we have a solid lineup starting at around 10 in the morning, 10 or 11 in the morning. Just go ahead and tune in at 10. Appreciate everyone that's been coming in on the Hoopers Room every Wednesday. We just did Sharif this week, and it was dope to talk about a player. Like you say, he's a player that can get lost because you don't got the postseason success that came with him, but he got a game that he had a transcendent game while not even being on a winning team. So that just show how great the game is and how many great players have came throughout this league. But definitely shout out to everyone that's been on the Hoopers Room. Keep a lookout on those Hoopers Room because training camp opens up October 5th around that time. So we got some giveaways coming up that we're gonna do through the Hoopers Room and on the Twitter page. I think we're gonna do something on IG. Really, I'm not gonna lie, we don't do IG a lot, but we be on there, so we're gonna be more active on that one. And then where it all started, find us anywhere podcasts are available: Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, all those dope places. While you're on there, I'm just shout out some other people's podcasts. Definitely catch Zach's Off the Glass podcast. Watch the new Chris LeBron. He had my guy Will on there. Shout out to Will. I know that's a dope when they started off talking about OKC. Just that run starting with that. I don't know if it started with the 2012 team, but it's about the best team that never was, and that was, we all know how great that team could have been, we're gonna be. So definitely check that out. And check out the WNBA podcast, Daniel Artest and K. Lou. They know that stuff. The WNBA has been great this year. Like, it's so much talent in the WNBA right now, and I think the league is about 25 in, right? So 25 in. And it's only going to keep growing, especially if the NBA takes my advice. which I'm not gonna harp on today because I've been saying this, so I know they're tired of hearing me say it. But just keep growing the game, and shout out to all the, like you said at the beginning of the show, like everyone making dope content. It's cool to see. Can't wait for the season to start, but that went a little longer than I was gonna go. But just appreciate all the viewers.
Right, and before we get out of here and we do outros, get out last time y'all hear our name today. Be looking out for some stuff during the regular season is going to come up, so we definitely finna have more guests on here doing not even just on here, but on the radio show, on the podcast, doing some more stuff on the Hoopers Room, on the halftime app, like you said. So just be looking out for more Hoopers content throughout the whole NBA season. And if nothing happens, this could be our first full 82 game season.
Yeah, I definitely want to say that, like, because how it all started. We started in the finals, Raptors versus Warriors. We started like around game 2, our first pod, and then you go through the next season and it gets killed because of COVID. Then it picks back up, and then we get through last year and it's a 72 game season. So this be the first full year of the podcast during the NBA season. So I think this is going to be the best year yet, for sure. That's why we're going to get creative. We're going to do some giveaways. We're going to do some engagement. Hoopers 2-on-2 tournament is still out there. Nick Andre, shout out to you. Oh, man, but I'm glad I just thought about that, too. Nick Andre has been dropping fire.
Oh, yeah, definitely. My bad,
the
Nick.
Stuff he's been writing,
Nick earlier, yeah.
The stuff he's been writing recently, shout out to Nick Andre. Definitely check him out. And I'm going to end this with throwing a little shout at the vice president. Mo, what happened to the Cowboys last night? I'm not the football guy, so don't.
Right, but if you do want to get into football, definitely check out Coach Couch. My bad, y'all. We going mad long, but definitely check out Coach Couch.
It's too much dope content.
And Morning Brew with Studios is definitely a couple on the Off the Ball Network that y'all should check out. But as always, I'm John W.
Fresh X.
And this was the Hoopers Morning Run.
Catch y'all next week.